Hey everyone, let's do PT. I feel great compared to how I've been feeling. Now everyone look at my belly. My belly, but I lost 5 pounds in the last 2 weeks. I'm doing good. I'm gonna show off my belly. Show off my mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're gonna talk about 6. My PT, which was crazy today. 8. Crazy? Crazy, not crazy, but it was different. Let's try and cut crazy out. Not entirely, but there's people who got problems. We don't got problems. We just got wow, that was different. 16, 17. I actually checked with Audrey today at the PT place, and she said I could do it this way. Showed her what I was doing, basically. And she's like, oh yeah, that's smart. All the things there are set up for people who are about 5.5 feet tall. And I'm in my shoes, I'm 6'4". So, not great. All right. Let's get going. What? So I went in and I saw my therapist was working with someone else at the time, and I thought, oh, I'm always on time or a little early. I think 5 minutes early is on time, that kind of thing. So I thought, oh well, I'm a little early. And the fact is, when you're early, well, when you go at all, you got to do all the COVID checks and testing and wash your hands and do everything for that. So it doesn't matter. When I get there, it's still a few minutes before it's time. So I figure I'll go wash my hands, answer the questionnaire, do all the testing stuff, and then we'll know. We'll see where she is with this other person. But when I came out, the therapist is like, oh, I'm going to have you work with the therapist assistant today. And I was like, interesting. Now, this is going to be titled week 3 of 0, 1, 2, 3, or whatever. It's week 3, 0, 1, 2. So I've been there plenty because there's a 0 week. So it's more than it might look at first glance. And I didn't start my timer, whatever. But up until now, I've always just had the one gal all to myself. There's almost never anyone else there because I go early in the morning because I'm a weirdo. I used to take all my classes at 8 to noon in college, and there was never anyone there, or people who had to take them there because they work in the evenings and stuff. So I'm a little weird that way. I'm down with that. She says you're gonna go with the assistant, and the assistant's gonna walk you through all the stretches, and the assistant starts. Which ones do you do? This is the one she wants you to do. This is what she says on her notes that you do. And I'm going, yeah, this is all basically right. But she's asking a lot of questions. Then she's having to ask Audrey and come back and then ask more questions and go back and forth. And I'm going, do you know what you're doing? Or is it lack of communication, lack of rapport, lack of trust? What exactly is happening here? I don't really know. But I'm being accommodating because I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's an emergency that Audrey needs to handle. With the other one, I'm just trying to be cool about it. But I'm racking up a lot of questions for later. And we kind of pound through them all. And by the time I'm done, we have hardly done anything I couldn't just do at home. A lot of the stuff you're seeing here, we're just doing there. Including a couple more where I put my hand on a pillar and push it. Put the hand on the other side of the pillar, pull it. Put my fist and punch the pillar. I can do those at home. I can do those with a wall, no big deal. So I'm kind of wondering at the end, I'm going, well, I'm not getting care from the person I like, and I respect their skill. And this lady's not bad, but all she is walking me through things I could be doing at home. And about 40 minutes or so into it, hands me off. She says, okay, you're going to go back to Audrey now. Oh, okay, good. That's it's kind of what I want, but I want to know what's going on. And Audrey and I do a bunch more intense PT, but it's not. I'm looking for progress. We're doing a lot of maintenance of strength and stuff like that. I'm looking for strength building and recovery to where I was. I don't know relative how strong I am compared to before the accident. And I can't test that yet, technically. I think we're still being very careful, and I think correctly, about the implant and the attachment point in the bone. Don't want to pull it out, don't want to bust anything, let everything heal and really knit together before we go to full what I was before. So, okay, accepting, and we do some crazy stuff, face down planking with my arms up behind me, extending while pinching my shoulder blades together. It's this crazy stuff. And we say we shouldn't do crazy. I'm not saying crazy, but it's intense stuff. It's stuff we have never done before. And, oh yeah, here we go. We were doing these with the other gal, and I said to her, out of all the exercises, this one confused me the most at first because I'm using my left hand to do everything. And I'm like, what are we doing? We're just working out my left hand. Like, well, no, this maintains supination and pronation strength. And in fact, she said, we're going to change this one a little bit. So I'm doing it now. That when I pronate versus supinate, when I pronate, I actually use my hand to do it. And then my right hand. And then when I supinate, I still use the left hand as a precaution. So that's good because now I'm like, well, I know I'm allowed to pronate. Why can't I supinate? I know why I can't, and we've been told not to supinate. But I thought, well, don't I want to maintain some strength in the supination? Like, no, this is all about maintaining range of motion and stuff. So that was one of the nice things when Audrey took over. We did another measurement of my extension and flex. You see, I don't even have this locked today. So we measured the extension and flex again. My extension's always been great, basically on par with the left hand, to a degree that I wouldn't notice unless someone measured it and said, oh, it's different. I don't think it's actually different. She says, you're like basically the same. Maybe I wasn't the same before. So she says, you got, when I first went in, they first measured it, week 0, just getting the baseline. She looks at it and she says, you got about 15 degrees off. 15 degrees you can do with your left hand that you can't do with your right. And then the next week, when she measured it again, she says, you got about 10 degrees instead of 15. Great. And then the week after that, this week, she measured it, she says 5 degrees. So basically the same. She's like, you're going to barely notice. And I'm like, great, Good to hear that recovery is still going. And honestly, I'm just, like when I do this now versus the earlier videos, I was kind of like, I can't stretch it. Now I'm just like, whatever, I can do this. It's not a problem. Funny, the assistant was saying that I grab my fingers and she's like, you start too fast. You gotta work your way into it. I'll show you. Work your way into it means when I switch positions here. This is like that instead of just pulling on it. Get that arm nice and straight and pull down on it. So it's just good. It's just good to hear that range of motion is there. Next thing I'm really interested in is where's the strength at. That strength is got to be, I was doing some minimal but important to me free weights before all this happened, and the free weights were very bicep focused, but not. I was gonna say, where did the alarm go? But not in. They weren't focused in the distal tendon. They were it's all kind of same. Distal tendon controls a lot of twisting motions. I was focusing on like get a big bicep kind of thing going on. And I still had attachments here and here, except for there. So it wasn't like had lost the whole thing and it was just atrophying to shit. The whole time that it was like injured, I was still doing it. I'm trying to remember if there was something about this that she was like, you gotta correct. Hey, make sure my shoulders are down, make sure my head's flat, all that. Relax for a second. Yeah, we did a lot of new ones with rubber bands. We did a lot more weight, even though doctor still hasn't got a hold of my physical therapist. Despite them calling him, me calling him, them calling him again, they still haven't got back in touch. Despite the fact that when I called them, they said, we're going to hang up and call them. They didn't do that. I know they're busy. Just, I mean, it's just, you didn't have to say you were going to hang up and call them. You'd be like, we're going to get to them as soon as possible. And that's like weasel words or something. But yeah, I don't want to be too judgmental. 10. What was it? There was something about this. I want to say that she was like nitpicking, nitpicking, I nitpick shit all the time, so no judgment there. I can already tell in the video, 5 pounds off, my face is a little less fat. It's kind of crazy. You guys all saw Miss Griff wandered into the video the other day, and that was, she had just gotten her, hello kitty, come on up, no, come on. Say hi to everybody. Hi. Hi. Good kitty. Yeah, go ahead and climb up. Well, why do you want to be up there? Let's do stretches with you. Oh, my goodness. Come on, lift that tail up. Give everybody a nice pink shot of your bum. Oh, she's teasing you. It's after it's OnlyFans. There it is. Here she goes. Hi, everyone. But yeah, my mom had her vaccine that day. So she wanted to celebrate. And, we're like, okay, but, you got your vaccine. My brother-in-law's got his vaccine. People are getting their vaccine. He works at the hospital. My mother's over 75. That's like the big requirement in California right now. And so everyone's, come on now. Let the people see my big ugly mug. Come on. There you go. She's like, let's celebrate. We're going to get some Mexican food and we're going to get nachos and all that. Notice I separate them. We're going to get pizza first, actually, she said. But my sister's like, it's too hot for pizza. Big greasy pizza, I feel like it's too hot for Mexican food's like a thing too, but so we ended up getting the Mexican, picking it up and bringing it in, and we just basically celebrated that she had that done. Very interesting process. She was interested in how much they protect the vaccine and how many people they're pumping through, which, as I understand it, was told to me by the physical therapist who also got their shots. They were able to get permission to get shots. Essentially, they didn't work at a hospital, so they weren't getting it. They weren't over 75. They weren't getting it. They're not at an old folks' home. They weren't getting it. But they are, people get procedures done and go to these people for medical reasons that just aren't hospitals. So I was like, yeah, that's a fucker of an oversight. But it turned out, as they were inquiring, San Francisco realized a bunch of the Pfizer and Moderna, Pfizer particularly, was expiring. They had been so protective of it that they were now like, we got to give it out before it goes bad, and we waste it all. What was she saying? Oh, that's right. Put my hands flat. There you go. I knew there was something. And relax the shoulders, but that's always a thing. 10. We'll do 3 more. So yeah, they gave out the drug and everything. I might upload some Generation Zero footage from Andy and I playing. Excellent games, particularly for the price. If you see it on sale, it's like even better. I think regularly it's maybe $20 anymore. A little bit older game. It's from Avalanche, and the original team at Avalanche, the ones that made Just Cause 1, which is a game I worked on. So we might upload some footage of that where we're just having fun and kicking butt in the later parts of the game. The beginning parts of the game are very like sneaky, and you only fight so much stuff at once, and you can't really get into these big fights and win at a pace that I was like, man, this game, what is it asking of us? You want you to sneak around? Does it want you playing co-op? Well, part of the problem was early on when we played some co-op, I had an option that's on by default that's like adjust difficulty on the fly, and either it adjusted on the fly and it stayed there, or I went back to readjust it and messed up. But it was on the hardest difficulty. I was playing on normal. They're still easy. So I went ahead and bumped it down from hardest to easiest. It was a big difference. Clearly, I mean, hardest to easiest. It's also one of those games where when you crank the difficulty in any direction, it's strictly numerical. Nothing about the combat changes. Nothing about the AI scripts change. It just sticks to what happens and makes the consequences more or less. So when the monsters jump and hit you, they do like 20 damage, 50 damage, 90 damage as you go up from easy to medium to hard. What's up, crybaby? You gonna come up here and say goodbye? Yeah, your tail's on the internet. Hi, everybody. Okay, we're gonna do one more. We're gonna call it, guys. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. She's behind the camera. 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. Oh yeah, and breathe. Gotta do my diaphragmatic hello. You can even see your name tag like perfectly in the thing. I hope I can like get that for the in video thumbnail. That'd be great. Anyway, always time to talk more tomorrow. Maybe more interesting stuff. We're gonna put up some videos. Gonna record with Cray tonight. Put up some old Cray footage, and I'm gonna see how Cray feels about doing the Munch's Odyssey, Oddworld Munch's. I think it's Abe's Odyssey. But anyway, the one on Xbox and PC. Record that and be kind of jerks about it. Hello, cutie girl. All right, why don't you hit the button for me? Hit the button.